1. Aristotle was an orphan at a young age. Both of Aristotle's parents died when he was about 13, and Proxenus of Atarneus became his guardian. Proxenus educated Aristotle for a couple of years before sending him to Athens to Plato's academy. He lived on Atarneus, a city in Asia Minor. Aristotle remained in Athens for nearly 20 years before leaving in 348–47 BC. It is possible that he feared the anti-Macedonian sentiments in Athens at that time and left before Plato died. 2. He is the founder of zoology. Upon Plato's death, Aristotle traveled on to the court of his friend Hermias of Atarneus in Asia Minor, accompanied by Xenocrates. After the death of Hermias, Aristotle traveled with his pupil Theophrastus to the island of Lesbos, where together they researched the botany and zoology of the island and its sheltered lagoon. Aristotle was a man ahead of his time. He had new ideas on how to study the world. He used to make detailed observations of the world and recorded what he saw. In his quest to learn more about the anatomy of animals, he started dissecting them, which was a new practice. Greek philosophers and educators of those times used to do all their work in their mind, thinking about the world without observing it. 3. His contributions to physics. It is true that while Aristotle was the founder of new frontiers in the field of life sciences, his ventures into physics fell short by comparison. His studies in physics seem to have been highly influenced by pre-established ideas of modern and earlier Greek thinkers. For example, in his dissertations on generation and corruption and on the heavens, the world setup he described had many similarities with proposals made by some pre-Socratic era theorists. He embraced Empedocles' view on the makeup of the universe, that everything was created from different compositions of the four fundamental elements: earth, water, air, and fire. In the same way, Aristotle supposed that any kind of change meant something was in motion. In a rather self-contradicting way, at least the initial interpreters found it to be so. He defined the motion of anything as the actuality of a potentiality. In its entirety, Aristotle understood physics as a part of theoretical science that was in sync with natural philosophy. Perhaps a more identical term to attach to Aristotle's interpretation would be simply the study of nature. 4. His thoughts on psychology. Aristotle was the first to write a book that was concerned with the specifics of psychology, de anima, or on the soul. In this book, he suggests the idea of abstraction that reigns over the body and mind of a human being. The body and mind exist within the same being and are entwined in such a way that the mind is one of the many basic functions of the body. In a more detailed psychological analysis, he divided the human intellect into two essential categories: the passive intellect and the active intellect. According to Aristotle, it is human nature to imitate something that, even if on a merely superficial level, provides us with a sense of happiness and satisfaction. His contributions were a giant leap forward from the pre-scientific era psychology that went before him and led us into an age of far more precise qualitative and quantitative analysis.